Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wellness Day, a podcast coming to you every Wednesday here from the Jahangir Wellness Center. My name is Kavas Jahangir, and here we are at part two of a very special episode that I'm sure you all have seen from last week, but we keep going on and on. Today was not just one of a kind, it's not two of a kind, it's three of a kind. And today we're finally revealing who our special guest from last week who suddenly appeared towards the end of last week. So we'd like to introduce JJ back to Wellness Day. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
You're sitting in the middle of two of your good friends. Tell us how you know them.
Oh God, I have to try and remember because it goes so far back that we can hardly remember. I mean, it goes far back to the extent that you were a kid and Simon was probably just born, I think, or maybe not even that. But it goes back to the time that I got my first laptop. Someone got it from the US and I needed a bag for it. So I asked my techie friends, and they said, "Well, go to this place somewhere near the metro, cinema, and there's a shop, and go there, and they have very good bags." So I took the address and I went there, and Ashish was right there. And so I said, I'd like to have a bag and all of that. And so he said, yeah, of course. I had the laptop and he took out a bag and it fitted. And that was the end of the bag. And then we started talking about each other and stuff like that. And what do you do? What do you play? What do you do this? Then we play tennis. I play squash. He said, I'll be happy to play squash with you. And at that point of time, I was looking for a partner because my earlier partner had gone to the UK. So he said, "Yeah, sure, I'll play with you." So I think maybe from the next day, or certainly from within the same week, we started playing. And then it became a routine where for maybe 4 times a week, 5 times a week, if I remember.
Wow, 4 or 5 times a week was squash.
And then it turned out that they stay so close to us.
Right,
So
yeah.
it was a regular routine that Ashish would come because he was further than us. He would come, pick me up, we play squash, and then we drop me back and go home. And this was a routine for God knows how many years. I think it was a routine for the years till we came to Pune.
Yeah, I remember it
Yeah.
very clearly as well. So,
May I just add something to this?
yeah.
First of all, this man is humility is personified. He says he wants to play with me, and I clearly mentioned. I said I have zero knowledge of Scotch. He's mentored me, and a good mentor. What does he do to a disciple? He makes sure that the disciple gets better than the mentor.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you got better there.
There you go.
Let's proceed.
Yeah, well, life has come a full circle then.
So he mentored me for, I think, for the 3-4 months. Having that patience when you're at such a level as Jahangir was, and carrying on and on.
Yeah, yeah.
He also helped me choose a racket, introduced me to the game, the nuances,
Lovely.
how the knees are important in that game and how you play. It was an amazing experience. One of my best years of my life between whatever. Even it's lost way back, way back.
I think it must have been 94 or 95 till 2003 when we moved here. And then it continued because we used to go to Bombay fairly often. And during that time, we were still playing.
Yeah, and he added another meaning to squash because he called me over for a drink as well. To where he was performing with his saxophone
And from
at
the
Jazz by the Bay and
Yeah.
Marine Drive. And what he did there was even, you teach someone how to play, but then you teach someone how to be a good father. And how do you do that? Ria was due in the next, it was a month
Okay.
for her. And he said, listen, do you know how to tie a diaper? So I said, no. He's saying 1 minute. He called for a napkin and at the restaurant.
No, he did this?
I know.
No way he did this.
No, he was it's Jasmine. But come on, I treat both of them as one, right? So yeah, good one. I like the way JD said, I've never tried that try. No, it's just Jasmine.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jasmine taught me how to tie a flight. So just imagine where to where, and it's a lot of gratitude to this gentleman
Amazing.
and the family, I think. And besides that, our drives to the Willing Club, he filled me up with anecdotes of how to live as a good human.
Yeah.
One in my mind, fresh in my mind, is there was a gentleman who was kept writing letters which were pretty aggressive from the hospital point, and he kept relating it to me that this is how I'm replying, and at the end of the day he won his heart. So these are the this is this is how life gets you stopped.
back.
And thank
Very
you so much. Thank you.
And most of that time, Ashwin was in England.
Okay.
So that's why we never, at that time, we never saw as much of him.
See, life balances it out.
And then
Now he's come to
Pune.
Pune, so he's come. So now he's whatever I got from Jahangir, now Win is getting from.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But it's like what we talked about in our
Receiving.
last week's episode where we were talking about the connection of music and sport. And, in this festival time, I thought that before we go on, I thought that this is a lovely opportunity to all be a little bit more festive. So,
Oh wow!
here's one.
I will send this to you.
Thank you.
Here's one for you.
Thank you so much.
One for you
Yeah.
as well.
Should we wear it in our hands or?
Yeah, you can wear it wherever you want. And we're all now continuing our festivities from last week. Happy Christmas to you all. Happy New Year.
Oh, Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also gave a name tag to Ish and Win from last week, so I could keep track of that.
Ashish and Ashwin,
And I've got one for you as well.
Yeah.
Here's one for JJ.
Is that good?
So yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, onward. So we keep going now.
So do we first, as he's a musician himself,
was.
No, still very much.
music.
But again, the theme of last week's episode and this week's episode is the connection of music in sport. So that's something that we're talented with.
Imagine, and he's our connection through both the
Yeah, exactly.
because music is
Yeah,
just jazz band and sport. So
And you guys have anything about music you want to share about right now?
you wanna dedicate a song to him? Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, wow.
Let's do a rap for him.
You're going to do a rap? All right. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, for a rap, do we just get it into the groove?
Yeah. How you going, guys? Oh, you guys got your shades. I knew you guys were going to get your shades, which is why I got mine too. So,
Oopsie.
I wish I had mine.
oh, damn. Yeah, well, here, since you're...
No, you carry on. I have mine in the car.
Cheers. So, are
Okay,
you ready?
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Are you ready? JJ?
Yeah.
This is for JJ. Okay.
Shukriya. All right, JJ. Yeah. All right. It does seem better. I say one. I say two. I say 1, 2, 1, 2, go. I say hip hop, the hip it, the hip hop. The don't stop the rocket to the bang, now boogie up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear is not a test, but a rocket to the beat. Me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try and move your feet. You see, I am one the mic, and I like to say hello to the black, to the white, to the red, and yellow. And I brought 2 friends around, and 2 friends,
All right.
Ravi and JJ.
Okay.
Yeah. And next to Mike, my friend Han. Come on, Han, sing that song. Check it out. The CAS and the OEA, and the rest is FLY. You see, I go by the code, by the doctor of the mist, and the reason I tell you why. You see, I'm 6'1" and turn to fun and dressed to a T. I got more clothes than Muhammad Ali and dressed like Bruce Lee. And after school, I take a dip in the pool, which is really on the wall. I got a color TV so I can see the Knicks playing basketball. Thank you.
I think everyone listening to that a feeling round of applause. Yeah.
That's amazing. You guys.
All right. That's pretty awesome. And you had all that memorized. That's probably because of the table tennis you all played right before. It helps the Alzheimer's.
Yeah. They are totally connected, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, I don't even know where to go now from here after listening to that. So thank you guys for sharing that. I think that was pretty awesome.
Quite mystical that we talk about music and the song ended with basketball, a sport.
Yeah,
See
exactly.
that? Yeah,
Exactly.
that's super. Yeah, it's quite.
But that's incredible. So fast forward to today. We talked about squash and all the yesteryears of where that is, and now everyone is talking about pickleball. We started talking about pickleball earlier and stuff like that. But now we've got one of the kings of the court of pickleball, because I know that you haven't been playing squash for a while, unfortunately, because it's so tough on the on the joints and stuff like that. But luckily, with a game like pickleball now is one that you've been taken up and really enjoying. So tell us about.
too, and so is mom.
Yeah, but
And Ashwin came and played with us once, I think.
Yes.
But we look forward to many more along with
yeah.
Ashish.
But now that you started playing a racquetball game again, I just wanted to ask you: is that how is that I think maybe in the last year you've been
1
playing it a
year.
little bit more. How do you feel compared to 1 year ago before when you weren't playing a racquetball? How do you
Brilliant.
compare today now?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
For all the years that we played squash with, which was a ball game, as he will tell you that we played so many years of squash, mom played and all of us. And then when it stopped, as you know, I can't go to the gym or walk and stuff like that. Cycling has been good.
Yeah. So we were talking about that before you joined.
But the point is that then it was happening like I would go only with company and when you were there.
Yeah.
And we would go on weekends and stuff. But when pickleball happened, it's something that can be done every day or almost every day. And therefore, that has taken over as the main activity. And the fact is that being a ball game,
Yeah.
the hand-eye coordination, the
we've talked
fact
about
that
that
you're
stuff.
totally engaged, like you aren't in any other form of exercise, is just phenomenal, and that's why it's so addictive.
Yeah, and you were even talking about how it's more than just the physical aspect; it's the mental and the stress buster of it.
Absolutely, it's you're concentrating on something, and it just you're thinking of just that at that particular point of time.
Yeah.
I think JJ is more than engaged. He's married to this person.
Yeah. And I don't know what Jasmine has to say about
It's one thing because usually in toilets it'll never say married. It'll always say engaged when it's. Oh my god! Yeah, especially the aircraft. The aircraft.
And see, even as you know, there was a tournament, and I took part in the tournament in
Yeah.
Kolkatta.
That's right. He was, and he was the oldest player there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cheers, huh?
Yeah.
Last match narrowed in the first round, but then as we were going home, they said, no, you can't go home. Wait. And then they gave me an award for being the oldest player in the tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, super. Cheers.
Which is actually great because it's one of my favorite. In one of the earlier episodes that I was talking to a couple of other people, and they asked me, what are my favorite quotes in the wellness or health space. And one of the favorite ones that I keep going back to is that I'd rather be the oldest person in the gym rather than being the youngest person in the hospital. And this is exactly that.
Oh, that's right. That's so famous quote soon, yeah. Very classic one.
So you just replace gym with pickleball court or pickleball champion. And
This is your original quote, right?
I don't know whether I heard it somewhere, but I'm not going to take credit for it. But it's definitely one that
on you, touch foot.
it ones that
This is good.
yeah, and the best time to fix your roof is when the sun is shining, which is why we want to do our wellness checks
Absolutely.
every
And
ever so often.
Ashwin is religious about it.
Yeah, how often do you do them?
At least once a year.
At least once.
You
Yeah,
got to get Ashish into it. Right?
yeah.
I think it's a matter of habit, and I love coming to Pune. So let's do it this year.
So
that's
that you do it
that's a
with-
newer resolution for this year,
Do it together.
not for next year.
The only
Yeah.
JW.
Yeah, it's today.
Today, it's all about
Right
now.
It all
the
starts
only
now.
I was going to say you better do it together. It'd be nice. But now I'm saying don't do it together. Do it on different days because they'll get your reports mixed up.
No, only what?
That's not something we should be. No, we would. We've got very good SOPs for that.
I don't know. Is that all? The thing is, one thing which could go in our favor,
Yeah.
and they could bill us for one.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
But you only get one report.
The smile vanished.
Well, let me then ask you then a question again. I asked both the Kohlis before, and we've also had in separate episode where we've talked about wellness. But I'll ask you maybe 1 year later if that answer has changed to you. Is that what does wellness mean to you?
I don't think it's changed.
Yeah.
The only thing that's changed is that I think the last time we spoke, I can't remember if I was playing pickleball. But
Yeah, which is exactly why I wanted to ask the
it
question
was
again.
in the early days of pickleball.
Yeah.
But now, having played it for 1 year, I can say that that's really added to a great deal to wellness.
Yeah.
Not just fitness, but wellness, because the mind is so engaged in in a ball game.
Yeah. And even at a community level, you meet more people, you meet so many younger people. And
No, and the other
great.
great thing about pickleball is there's so much goodwill on the court.
yeah.
Compared to any other game,
Sportsmanship.
I've noticed there is so much goodwill.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun, a lot of joking, a lot of
Banter.
teasing, a lot of banter,
Yeah.
a lot of good fun, well-intent cheating.
Right.
More,
Very hard to catch as well because
and it's great. It's absolutely great. And when I compare that to say squash or I don't know about tennis, they would say so.
Yeah.
When the court is yours, you got to get in and play. Here the feeling is no, you play. That's really the different.
I was
vibe.
going to say you mentioned cheating, but I think there's a lot of sportsmanship in pickleball. Also. I mean, people are more generous.
Yeah, the idea of cheating is to first cheat and then give it up.
It's so that's still cheating. That's honest cheating. So why do you think pickle has grown? Is just a thought. Is you think of sleeping,
Yeah.
you think of eating. Now, pickle is related to eating because first of all, it's called pickle, and then you have a kitchen. So
Yeah, that's a good point. You're getting me hungry now. Got something to eat or something. Yeah, well, I got my protein shake here.
It's just-
So that if you don't mind, I'll
please go. Please carry on.
indulge in my. But talking about coming back to pickle and the community aspect of it, you talked about how much fun it is and the community aspect of it as well. You definitely have a reputation on the court. What I can tell you guys.
What is that?
Well, he's the king of the court. He's got a
Not because of the game, because of mine.
because of his persona. Who is you said?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, he's got a nickname that everyone calls him by, and we even got a shirt made for him, which I mean,
like
hopefully
the name, but still.
is JJ Uncle.
Hey,
Is what everyone calls him on court.
I like what's in between. Wow, you're in flight all the time. JJ, it's got a plane, right? Is that a plane?
Yeah,
2 planes.
So he's always
Yeah, he's a very plain guy. Simple and plain.
he's a very plain guy. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely right. Yeah, actually, it sums it up.
But you know what's funny about
simple
what's funny about this thing, and I said, he's the oldest guy in the court rather than being the youngest guy in the hospital. But as I said, pickleball has got people of all these age ranges. There's someone who's like 15, 16, 17. There's like people who are 30. There are people who are like 50. And then there's dad who's on the higher end of that range. But the funny thing is that JJ Uncle is his nickname. But the guys who are like 15, 16 call him JJ. And the guys who are like 40, 50 call him JJ Uncle.
So there's a story behind that.
Okay, let's hear.
Because as you know, I despise being called uncle.
Exactly. Which is why I had to bring up the issue.
We are in the same boat.
Yeah.
That's he doesn't like relatives.
Good. So, so when I started, there was a whole lot of these youngsters who I was playing with, and they started calling me uncle, and I said, no, I don't like to be called uncle. Then afterwards, there were so many of them, it was like a swarm of bees coming in. And I virtually gave up. And then someone who they called uncle called me uncle. And I said that, no, that's where we stop. So, and that's when that's where the whole thing
I'm a bit confused.
That's where it's.
That's a great. I had to say, yeah. He said, either you call me grand uncle, but you can't call me uncle.
No, I said you call me nothing. So then,
Call me nothing.
then I started. So that's where it comes. 'Cause then I started on the youngsters. One by one, I stopped them. So now they call me JJ. But I have to get to the next level to
Well, cheers to that.
Yeah.
Your game is going to get you to the next level. I'm sure. You
No, his game is that's why I mean he's king of the court. Yeah, we actually have to finish this episode quite soon because we're gonna go play a game after.
They're going to play now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so what? Since we're pretty much stuck on the pickleball topic, but if you had to give advice for someone who's just in that lazy state of mind or in that thing about I don't want to get going, I might get injured, I don't want to start a sport. What is the advice that you'd give someone to get going, and not necessarily anyone in either pickleball or anything sport related, to just get moving?
That's
So,
great.
getting moving is really the main thing,
Yeah.
whichever way you move. But if you move along with a ball game, that's so much the better.
Far.
But you got to be sensible.
Yeah.
I mean, I love squash, but there's no way one can play it at this age. And this has been so for the last 10 odd years. Still now, I mean, when I go to the changing room, I have to walk past the squash courts.
Yeah.
And I still get a little
Nostalgia. Yeah.
tightness in the stomach muscles when I see people playing squash.
Or the sound of that ball.
I can't play it. So the answer to your question is that you got to pick your sport depending on your age and level of fitness. Like, you can't just get on and say, I want to play squash. Like a sports medicine guy told me that's the only game that you can't play to keep fit. You got to keep fit to play sport.
Absolutely. Well,
So other games is fine. You can play. But yet you got to choose your game according to your age and level of fitness. And pickleball fits into all categories. And that's what really makes it.
that's why it's catching on like wildfire.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the word he said. You got to pick your sport, and he picked pickleball.
Yeah. True. It happened.
Yeah.
You got to be picky and choosy.
How about you guys? Any?
You play paddle.
Yeah, I do play paddle.
I
Yeah.
want to try it out one day.
Yeah, absolutely. We should do.
That's a mixture of tennis and squash.
Yeah.
So-
But I want to give it a try, and I'm feeling it'll be a little too strenuous, but I
No, I think we'll be fine. Yeah. How about you guys? What advice would you give?
Go with the flow.
Go with flow.
Absolutely. What and
No, but the point is, what if someone's flow is not moving?
so I listen to music. Get your adrenaline.
Listen to the rap that we just heard again.
Yeah. No, I think what happens is I always believe in the law of attraction. Even if you're not playing,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you look after your health. You focus in that direction in whichever sport you want. You work on that body part in the gym, and just put that out in the universe. I'm quite certain you'll get a call. Okay, listen, join us for a game. You and especially now, I believe right now in this day and age, instant karma is working very quickly. So if you really want it, you will have it.
Yeah. Faster than ChatGPT or anything like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that helps as well.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you want to do the, just the regular stuff, you have backup.
Actually, the quick story about this, about ChatGPT, while we're just quickly on the topic, and I actually, was asking for analysis and so forth, and I asked it to give me a whole lot of summary, and you know what it picked out? It genuinely picked out our episode. It was like, this was a really fun episode that you did with Win. You should do more fun ones like this. And use that as a base, which actually became my reference point then moving forward for a lot of things. So actually, ChatGPT is and you.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a side story.
Taken ChatGPT.
No wonder. Exactly. Well, I mean, final question then for all of you guys. We're getting into the new year, new time, resolutions, whatever you want to call it. If you had to add one aspect of wellness to your lives in the next 1 year, what would that be? Let's start with you, Ish.
Let's start with JJ Anka.
Okay, let's start with JJ Uncle.
Yeah, well, one idea of wellness would be to drop the uncle.
Oh wow, sick. You know what he is actually implying? He's saying he's
Stay young.
youth. Yeah,
Exactly.
Stay young. Beautiful. Well said.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well said.
Yeah.
Good one.
Stay young. So, may I?
Yeah.
So wellness comes from sport completely, but what is it in sport which which makes us go back again, is staying in the present moment. So, wellness for me is staying in the present moment and to truly aspire. In fact, I chant. We both practice Nichiren Buddhism.
Okay.
And when we chant, it's an out of realm experience, and it's as you go on, you realize there's nothing more important than what is
From the moment.
present. So paying attention at this now matters.
Lovely.
That's the resolution for it.
I love that.
And to go back to this theme of this podcast, music, the same applies to music.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I love that answer because it's not something, like, oh, I'll walk more or I'll do this more. I like it. Just be in the present and enjoy life.
It's
That's lovely.
come because of what he did just now. He
Yeah.
prompted me. He said, "Listen, I want to remove JJ Uncle." I said, "Wow, if he's been
No, just
now,
Uncle.
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry." Just you caught him, guy. He's saying, "What the hell are you talking?" He loves you. I mean, this is love expressed in the moment. This is love expressed in the what he prompted me. He's saying, "Listen, what are you saying, JJ Uncle, man? Remove."
Really, Uncle.
So he was in the now, and that's what I just and vibes are transferable, and he gives me the best vibes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just man, just really. Just.
Win, I think you get the final word.
Do you want me to say that on camera?
I'll leave that completely to you.
Yeah, I actually touch wood. God has given me everything, everything I wish for. Besides the little niggles, the injuries which will get cured.
Yeah.
Price.
But that's actually, sorry to interrupt you. That's only, maybe I think it's a good thing. It's like a good reminder to tell us what we appreciate when we do have it.
Absolutely. So as I said, yeah, everything. I've Ish mentioned the three things that you require: health, family, and a job where you can go and enjoy yourself. You get respect, love, and of course money. All three God has given me. So
Fantastic.
just one thing which I don't know why it's alluding is love. We're sitting next to you, both of us. Keep talking, dude. The opposite sex. Yeah.
Okay.
To be a little more specific. So that's one thing that I'm, and I wouldn't mind also one more thing. Yeah, because I believe a human has both man and woman within. So even if I find that woman inside me, right, and I love myself so much, oh man, I'll be a happy man. I want to do that.
Lovely.
What he's doing is he's talking about self-love.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is the highest kind of love. And if you
100%.
do that, then man, you're free.
What lovely, lovely points to leave us on. Self-love, gratitude, stay young, and live in the moment.
Oh man. Well, you summed it up.
So yes,
Well done.
lovely. Thank you all.
I love it. I love your memory, huh? Yeah, you especially the JJ Uncle. I say keep JJ. Thank you so much.
Well, on that note, it's been lovely having you guys here.
With you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can do endless episodes of this, but people will think that we're completely unhinged. But that's okay. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So thank you all again for being here. Thank you, JJ Uncle.
Priya.
Thank you. Thank you all. Very, very happy New Year to all. I hope you've enjoyed this crazy and completely unhinged episode. I know I have thoroughly enjoyed it. But before you do leave, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you all next week into the new year. All the best. Bye-bye.